When I first started playing Factorio, I didn't see what all the fuss was about. You have this little guy, you mine this rock and then you mine that rock, you set up some drills and some furnaces, and then a power station with pylons, an automated fuel line, a larger smelting array, assembly lines that make you conveyor belts, ammunition and computer chips, and then I saw the time. I'd been playing for 6 hours straight. I'd been hooked without even noticing. A building game hadn't pulled me in so strongly for years. So, let's find out how they achieve this. For all its complexity, Factorio is centered around one simple idea. Anything you can craft, you can also automate. This is mainly thanks to the assembling machine. You place one down, choose a recipe, and belt in the correct source materials. This machine will now produce a steady supply of your new item, which can then be belted to other parts of your factory. Are you fighting off a lot of aliens? Set up an assembly line that makes ammunition. Is it taking a long time to build your conveyor belts? Set up an assembly line that makes even more conveyor belts. Building and connecting these assembly lines provides the game's core loop, and building efficient lines is the game's primary source of skill. Assembly lines are actually quite simple in principle. You provide the right inputs, and you'll get your desired output. But these lines are themselves made up of many small pieces, and this gives the player a lot of flexibility in how they set them up. Your main components are belts, machines, and inserters. Belts carry items around your factory. Machines perform the crafting, transforming one type of item into another. And inserters are used to move items between machines and belts. So far, so simple. But to create an assembly line, you'll need to arrange many of these pieces in a relatively complex pattern. And this granularity introduces a variety of engineering trade-offs. How much space should I use for my line? Larger lines give you more space to make future edits, but they also run a little bit slower since your items are spending longer travelling on belts. They also cost more to set up and are harder to fully defend with gun turrets. Should I produce my inputs locally, or belt them in from a dedicated line further away? Local production can lead to less cross-wiring over your factory, but bulk production can be more efficient and easier to upgrade. The coolest thing about these trade-offs is that they are real trade-offs. Space, speed, modularity, efficiency, these are all concepts that real engineers grapple with on a daily basis. By letting you build complex machines out of small components, these trade-offs emerge naturally from Factorio's gameplay. Once you've built a new line, you'll often find that its product becomes the input for an even more advanced assembly line. You smelt iron ore into iron plates, and copper ore into copper plates, and these are then used to make iron gears and copper wire, which in turn are used to make electronic circuits. And these are then used to make all sorts of devices, including your inserters. And even inserters can be used to make science packs. In this way, you gradually work up the game's tech tiers, with the ultimate goal of building a spaceship that can take you back to Earth. When you think of a tech tree, one game that often comes to mind is the Civilization series, where you progress through a long web of technologies spanning from the Ancient Age to the Space Age. Working your way through this tech tree is a lot of fun, and even teaches you a little bit about human history.
It was luxuries like air conditioning that brought down the Roman Empire. They couldn't hear the barbarians coming.
Wow!
But mechanically, it's very basic. You earn science points in your cities, and you use these points to fill up your science bar. A technology doesn't always feel mechanically connected to its prerequisites. But in Factorio, this tech tree is something that you actually build. By connecting a series of assembly lines, you construct a factory that goes all the way from raw materials to high-tech robots. And by looking back on your factory, you still gain a sense of history. You can see where you upgraded your lines, and you can see where you had to rebuild them after an alien attack. You can see your mistakes and the lessons you learned from them. You can even work back through the layers of automation until you finally reach your first drill and first conveyor belt. And in the process, you can see how all of your previous efforts tie together to create this spectacular whole. When you zoom way out and you take a look at your entire factory, there's a real sense of authorship. This machine is astonishingly complex, with thousands of products zipping this way and that. But it's also something that you built up with your own hands, something that represents the uniqueness of your own playthrough. So, what can we learn? In a strange way, Factorio reminds me of Minecraft or even Lego. The feeling of pulling together your factory is very similar to when you finally finish building a huge fantasy castle. But a Lego or Minecraft castle, at the end of the day, is just for show. You can make it look very cool, but the castle won't actually do anything. It won't perform a function. By contrast, Factorio gives you the long-term goal of building a rocket, and everything you create moves you a little bit closer to that goal. Your factory will be sculpted a particular way, not just because you think it looks cool, but also because it solves a complex problem. This mechanical underpinning is what makes your factory design so meaningful. So, to sum up my opinions, my big design takeaways from playing Factorio were: Number 1. If your game involves building, give the players small and simple building blocks. This gives them much more freedom in how and what they decide to build. Number 2. By making your creations feed into each other, you link your goals together into an addictive progression loop. As always, there's a whole lot more I could say about Factorio, like how conveyor belts have 2 different sides that can carry different materials, or how you can load balance your belts so that machines later in your line still receive their fair share of resources. But this video will have to leave things here. If there's anything you think I missed, please drop a comment. And if you want to see more of these game design videos, don't forget to subscribe. You can also watch some of my previous videos, like this one on Slay the Spire. Development for Patch Quest, my own free-roaming roguelike game where you ride monsters and search a jungle for ancient treasure, is still going strong. I'm hoping to relaunch the free alpha in a few months. But until then, you can keep on top of development news by following @PatchQuest on Twitter, or joining the Discord community. The links are in the description. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.